Welcome back to this week's episode of the Rock Solid Sports Podcast. Today is Wednesday, April 16th, and Rory McIlroy finally got it done.
Finally got it done. He had a lot of people rooting for him, but, finally did.
Finally got the fourth major. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Masters and maybe a little bit of NBA playoffs coming up and a little bit of NHL playoffs coming up. So, yeah, let's do it.
We gonna make it, baby.
Welcome back to this week's episode. We are brought to you by Sluv. Go check them out on their Instagram at sluv.co, that is sluv.co, or their website at sluv.us, that is sluv.us. Go check them out for all their clothes. New drop a while ago, so yeah, go shop. Get right into it. Everything that we wanted to happen didn't happen, and everything we didn't want to happen happened.
Yeah.
And going back to last week, we made our predictions going into the Masters. And I think we all had the understanding without saying it that we all probably thought Rory would have been in the top 5 with a chance to win. But just nobody wanted to pick him in our picks that we were, throwing out there. We were kind of choosing guys that either we sort of root for that you think you can win, or guys that you just don't hate. And for us, I'm not really saying hate, but Rory McIlroy is not our favorite golfer in the world.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I get, there's a lot of hate towards him, which some of it is warranted, but it's also one of those things where you gotta step back and realize what he just did was incredible and literally became the 6th person to ever do it. So you gotta take that into account with it, but yeah, I think there were some other bigger names that we kind of wanted to win it all, but it's cool seeing him get it, and I think, honestly, now that he's got it, I think he's going to go on a pretty impressive run from here on out and trying to, get it done. I was looking at it yesterday or around when the Masters ended. Like, who's next? Like, who's the guy who needs one more? Phil needs to win, I want to say the U.S. Open. And then Jordan Spieth is one away, too. But he needs the PGA Championship, which is going to be really difficult for him to get. But those are kind of the guys you're looking at on a Grand Slam watch now. But it was good to see Rory win it. You could obviously see there was a lot of emotion there. And, a lot of the hate that goes toward him is, the way he acts. And I'll be the first to tell you, if you were 10 years in between majors, you'd be pretty fucking pissed, too, especially how close he's gotten over the years. So it was cool to see him get it done.
Yeah, I think it was probably the most memorable Masters since that 2019 one, being Tiger Woods, just with all the storylines and stuff that kind of played out in front of our eyes. I think the first day Justin Rose was leading. Second day, I think Justin Rose was still leading, but the gap was just slighter because I think Scotty was catching up. Bryson caught up. Rory started off that first round. I mean, he got 4 under right away, and got into the second 9. I forgot. We're not allowed to call it the back 9. The second 9, they got back there, and I think he just bogeyed double bogeyed the last 2 holes or something. Ended up even for the day, and you're going to that second day, thinking, if he just parred those last 2 holes, he was 4 under and probably I think 3 strokes behind Justin Rose, and then he kind of just killed it. Made the cut pretty easily, and then just killed it Saturday. Went in. I think he was solo leader by. No, or was he solo leader by going into Sunday? No, he was up. Yes, he was up 2.
Yeah, because he went 5 under through 5 to start Saturday out and became the first player in Masters history to get, 6 threes, 6 consecutive threes in a row?
6 consecutive threes. Steph Curry's done it before. But yeah, no, it was cool to see just the different storylines. Rory getting beat in the Open last year, the U.S. Open last year to Bryson DeChambeau, and then they get paired up on the final day. It was just perfect. It played out perfectly for what Augusta, needed and what they wanted. Some funny thing, I haven't looked at the scoreboard since that day. Had no clue Scotty Scheffler finished 4th, just sole 4th.
Yeah.
He made $1.8 million just just being fourth place. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
How much did Rory win?
Rory won 4.2.
Jesus.
Yeah, and Justin Rose won 2.26. I mean, that's the $2 million difference
take
being first. Oh yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, no, just a lot of cool storylines. The Masters is one of the most fond of tournaments every year, if not the the one you want to win, and the one that people are most excited for.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it lived up to all the hype this year, which was I think much needed considering these last 3 Masters. They've been good with Scotty winning 2 and John Rahm winning 1, but the weather last couple of years was just rough.
Yeah.
And it was perfect. All 6 days that they were at Augusta, it was perfect.
Yeah, and to go back to your point about how we needed it, was like a lot of people were saying like we needed this because the Super Bowl was average.
March Madness
wasn't madness at all. The football playoffs, it was just kind of whatever. It was all right, but this kind of lived up to the hype that everyone puts on it, and I think that really, really helped it out. But one thing that's for sure, leaving this weekend, is Ludwig Oberg's got a enemy out of me now. I think I used to love him, but I think I might have to have some issues with him now. I had a $10 bet. It was like a 6-leg parlay with like top 40, top 40, top 20, and then I had Ludwig at top 5, which he would have done easily. But then he proceeded to triple bogey the 18th hole, fall out of maybe even the top 10. 7, yeah, and then just
if it was a triple bogey, he would have finished 4th.
Yeah, so just kissed away my money. I love him, but that's a hit.
Yeah. Do we want to recap who was our guys that we picked last weekend? I'll just go first. I picked Bryson. He finished tied for 5th. I picked Ludwig. He was 7th, sole 7th place. And I picked Justin Thomas. Where is he? He finished tied for 36. So those are my 3 picks to win the Masters this year. I had 2 guys in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them probably should have finished in the top 5, like you just said.
Yep.
Ludwig and Bryson both clearly should have finished in the top 5.
Yeah.
Caden, you had Xander, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Tied for 8th.
Morikawa.
Call Morikawa.
He was tied for 14th.
Mm-hmm.
And then I threw in Wyndham in there. He's tied for 46th. Hey, made the cut though, baby.
He did.
Made the cut.
I think I had Ludwig winning it, which
You
granted,
had Ludwig too, yeah.
he's so young to the point where the fact that he's already like threatening this Masters run this early in his career, I'm sure he'll be around for a very long time. And
He's 25 years old.
yeah, he's probably gonna win one. So, I think I had him. I had Bryson, and then I want to say, I think I said Rory somewhere in there, and then Tommy Fleetwood, who didn't end up doing anything crazy, but
Tied for 21.
Yeah.
Tied for 21st.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our predictions weren't terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a shout out to Max Homa real quick. First cut made since last August or something like
Mhm.
that. It's been a long time. Finally made a cut, and then he finished tied for 12th with a 4 under at Augusta. He's played pretty well at Augusta the last 3 years, but just to see him back in the final 2 days, it was cool to see for him. Also Bubba Watson finishing tied for 14th.
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth finishing tied for 14th. Some of these guys that have been struggling for these last couple of years, and seeing them finish how they did, it's pretty cool.
I mean, that's Augusta though. I mean, you're talking about 2 champions. So
yeah,
and I think
granted.
there's some people who just play really good at Augusta, and they're 2 of them. But yeah, no, it's good to see him playing good.
So who's the next guy? Rory. Rory was the one that he had to win one to get the monkey off his back.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to Pardon My Take today. They're talking about narratives, just in terms of basketball, golf, all this stuff. Who's the guy that needs a win?
Oh man, that's tough.
And maybe not like Tommy Fleetwood. They said Tommy Fleetwood hasn't. He needs to win. He hasn't won a PGA tournament at all.
Yeah.
Some guys, they were saying Scotty Scheffler, if he doesn't win a major by the end of this year, people are going to start saying, are you a Masters merchant?
Yeah.
Only 2 Masters, but no other majors.
Yeah.
Any guy you want to call out?
It's a pretty tough one, and I think you think about a guy like Jordan Spieth maybe, where it's just you came into golf, everyone was saying you're going to be the next Tiger Woods because of how young he was and how good he was, and now he's kind of coming over the hill athletically speaking, where he's probably like 30-something right now or close to that.
Let me look. You can keep going.
But, he's getting to that point where it's like you're kind of running out of time to
He's
prove.
31.
Yeah, so it's like you're kind of somewhat running out of time before you can really prove you're still that guy, and maybe the assumptions weren't wrong about you. It just needed to take some time. I don't know, but other than that, Scotty. Scotty's a big one. And if we're just talking about golf on this one, like, I don't know, can he ever? It was the same kind of situation. It's just like if he could keep doing what he's doing, he kind of gets close to that Tiger thing. But having the year he had and then having the year he just had, very different, like completely different. And he's an interesting guy to watch because when he plays well, he's on fire and can't be stopped. So, and maybe, DeChambeau.
I was going to say Brooksy.
Yeah, DeChambeau maybe like leading the charge for like a Live PGA merger. And like I think PGA realizes how much people love Bryson now. And then like he's such a big part of golf that might be the spearhead that they need to kind of like be like, let's get these things together so we can kind of be one instead of like these two different things. Because, Bryson, maybe you got to look at it. He had really good first day, really good second day, really good third day. And then he had a really bad fourth day. And you could maybe chalk that up to Liv only playing 3 days. So if that's not something that Bryson was doing, like who knows, maybe he would have had the stamina to kind of keep that going, the mental stamina to keep that going. So I think there's a lot of like these guys who like are trying to be the face of golf because I think it's wide open. I think for a while it was Scotty was like the face of golf. But now I think that door is open to try to like find the guy. And like maybe that's the storyline. It's like who's the guy in golf? Or is it just going to be a couple more years of who knows who's going to win? So
any thoughts for you, Caden? This is probably the most golf you watch in a weekend since maybe ever.
Yeah, but maybe ever is correct.
Maybe since the Masters last year.
Probably that's probably more accurate. I don't know. It was good. It was fun. I don't know. I don't think I got really much else. I don't have anyone to call out. I won't lie to you. As you just stated, I don't watch a lot of golf in general.
You want to pick like one random person?
Whenever you first said, I was gonna say Bryson. I feel like he hasn't won anything in a while.
He won the U.S. Open last year, and
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah,
really.
But you said he kind of is in Live. Does Live and PGA both do the majors?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
That makes sense.
They only meet up at the 4 majors, which it sucks. Like, 'cause, the BMW was here last year, and I was thinking, why didn't I see Bryson? I was like, oh, it wasn't a major.
Yeah.
I was like, Bryson would have been fucking electric to see golf and
in Colorado.
in Colorado, yeah.
he would have launched it like 500. No, but it was fun. Yeah, I mean, it's just always so cool, just Augusta, the Masters, how they do it. I want to go. I'm entering the lottery this year. I think it starts in like June 1st or something. And then, there's some people that enter for 20 years and never get to go, and there's some people that enter 1 year randomly and they get to go and we'll go watch the Masters. So and everything's like surprisingly pretty like cheap. Like I think to go to like every day of Augusta, it's like $600 like for just like the ground pass, which isn't that crazy.
No, not at all.
And then obviously I know they make their money off of like their merch store and everything, the surrounding areas. The economy is probably very good in Augusta every year. They probably love that week. But so I'm hoping I'll get to go. I want to get some merch. I want to try some of the food, and then obviously just get to be at Augusta. It's like heaven on earth. I think that's what they call it. I'm excited for the next one. I have no clue when the next major is. We'll get there when we get there, I guess. I can maybe look quickly. PGA Championship.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Is that a major?
Yeah.
I think every year I ask the same question.
It's the Open, the U.S. Open, the PGA Championship, and the Masters.
Yeah, okay. So PGA Championship actually coming up May 15th.
Maybe Jordan Spieth. Two Grand Slams 1 year.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be a good story.
In the PGA Championship, don't they do it to where like whatever your standings are, like adjust like what your starting score is?
I thought that was the FedEx Cup.
That might be that, yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't know. We're just getting into it again. Masters was the first, like just get into it, and then after basketball and hockey, you really get into golf when golf and baseball are the only things on. So we will get, I guess, right into basketball then. We'll just talk quickly. NBA playoffs. The bracket is now almost officially out. We know all the 2 through 7 seeds in both the Eastern and Western Conference, and we know the 1 seeds as well in the East and West, but we just don't know the 8 seeds yet, and that'll be figured out by, I think, Friday. We actually are watching the play-in right now. To me, or the Eastern Conference play-in is just the Bulls and Heat Invitational every year, along with the Raptors and the Hawks. Those 3 of those 4 teams seem to be in the Eastern Conference play-in every year.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said it a million times, like the Nuggets are like my team, but I still support Atlanta. And during work today at Buffalo Wild Wings, because they got smacked by the Magic, it was on repeat. They played that game, I shit you not, 7 times in a row. So I was like, damn, we get it. Like, you don't have anything else you could show.
Trae Young ejected.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a rough shot for the Hawks. Tomorrow might be Trae Young's, or I guess Friday might be Trae Young's possibly last game in a Atlanta Hawks jersey. You never know. All right, we'll start in the Western Conference. The way this bracket, ironically, is set up, the first game it lands on is Clippers-Nuggets, 4-5 series. I think we're going into the series. We're projected 2.5-point favorites at home the first game, but I think the odds have flipped where we were slightly favored to now. I think we were underdogs on FanDuel today, like as of this morning. Could change, but I know a lot of the action was on the Clippers initially, which is why that probably swung. But yeah, I mean, the Clippers are one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. They're 17-3, I think, in their last 20 games or something. Or they did have a 20-game stretch like that very recently. Denver, obviously, we just don't really know right now. Fired our coach and our GM, I think, a week ago today. Or something like that, or a week ago, Tuesday, or I don't know. Something like that. And then they have 3 games to finish the season against all playoff teams. And they beat them all. And the last game being the Rockets, where they kind of pooped on the Rockets, not going to lie. It was probably their best showing in a game in a while. Yeah. And so you don't know. The Nuggets were cold, and then 3 games in a row, you don't want to call that like hot or streaking. But they looked better than they did, a couple weeks prior to that against a team that is very hot. James Harden has a resurgence here of how well he's played. Zubac is probably going to win most improved player and might win defensive player of the year as well. I saw a couple votes for him in the recent days. And then you have Kawhi Leonard, who, if he's healthy, we all know he's a top 10 player in the NBA.
Oh yeah.
Versus a bunch of, I don't know. They've been proved. We've won a championship. Our starting lineup, our players have been proven. But this season it's been kind of up and down. But our one steady piece, obviously, is Nikola Jokic. It's Jokic versus the Clippers, essentially. Initial thoughts and, I guess, prediction at the end.
Yeah, because what's the interim coach's name right now?
David Adelman.
Yeah, I think a lot of this playoff run's going to depend on how well he's able to get that locker room together. I feel like the biggest thing that can happen when you lose a coach this late is you fall apart, and there's a little bit of changing of the guard and how things are going to be ran. But if he can keep that locker room together, that team, like you said, I mean, they've been proven. I mean, they are a team that if they can play together and play for something, they can make a pretty decent run in this. But yeah, I mean, just based off of that, I think the series goes deep. Personally, I think it goes 6 or 7. But I don't know. I think it's just going to be a good series. But I do think the Nuggets are going to pull it out. For some reason, I think they're just going to band together and they're just going to play a hard ball. And I think it's going to push them through. But I do think it goes very long in the series.
Cade?
Yeah, you said they're hot, but we talked about this the other day. We tend to play well against the Clippers. I think when was the last time we saw them? When we beat them 3-1? Or did we see them the year after that too?
In the playoffs?
Yeah.
No, the last time we saw them was that bubble year, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, we beat them fully healthy before. I think they're healthy. Kawhi was in it. I think everyone's playing.
Yeah, I think they seem fully healthy. I believe they are.
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, like you said, it's Jokic versus the Clippers. If they just have to stop him and they win. But he is having his best season, so
yeah,
it'll be interesting for sure. But my prediction was going to be 6 Nuggets in 6. I think that he's too good to be stopped.
Yeah, that's been proven the last couple of years. Thank God. But yeah, no, I'm kind of with you guys. I've been leaning Nuggets in 6 these last couple of days, but I've actually thought about it just a little more since we've been talking about it, and just today listening to other podcasts and stuff. I think I'm gonna go with Nuggets in 7. Initially, yes, thinking 6 on the road where we've been good. Obviously, we closed out a series in LA against a different team a couple years ago. But now this is in the Intuit Dome, new arena, new energy in that stadium. And I don't know, I have a feeling that we're going to win one of our games at home. I have a feeling that they might steal one here in Denver. I hope not, obviously. And then I think we're also going to steal one on the road there. And I think we're going to come back, win Game 5. I think there's a chance we go on the road and win in Game 6. I think it'll be a close game. And then I think we just come back and Kawhi's knees are just not ready for Game 7. That's always a legitimate factor for a Kawhi Leonard-led team is he might not be healthy by the end of the series, which sucks to say. And I hope he is healthy and we get a good, no matter what happens, it's just good basketball. And I'd want the best players to be out there. But, I think I'm going to roll with Nuggets in 7. I think, like you said, Jokic is just such a force. And I don't want to undermine what Jamal Murray has done in the playoffs, last 6 years since whatever we've been in the playoffs. Nuggets have been in the playoffs for 7 straight years. Don't take it for granted. There's not a lot of teams.
Yep.
Some teams, I think the Hornets have won, I think they were 8 seed in 2021 or something like that, and they won like 41 games or something like that. Every year they have just lost more and more and more games, kind of like the Colorado Rockies. And they are, I think, at 14 wins this year, something like that. Not very many. So don't take it for granted.
Crazy stray there to the Rockies.
3-12, not good. They're playing the Dodgers right now.
Yeah.
House divided.
It's not very divided. There's not much division there.
Next series, Lakers, Timberwolves. I believe the Lakers are favored, and all the experts, quote unquote, from ESPN, picked the Lakers. I don't think any of them picked the Timberwolves, which I find laughably hilarious. This series will be interesting. Luka Doncic versus Anthony Edwards. Obviously, LeBron's still on the Lakers as well, but I think the Luka battle is going to be what a lot of people are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
A physical defensive juggernaut in Minnesota versus a team that really has no bigs and kind of just has a bunch of forwards, like just a bunch of guys that are like 6'8", going against a Rudy Gobert-led defense, which will be interesting to see. He might not be finishing a lot of these games, especially if the Lakers play that small ball thing they usually do. And if we remember last year, Luka cooked the Timberwolves in that Eastern Conference Finals, specifically Rudy Gobert. So, I'm excited for this series.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be entertainment. I think this goes 7 as well, and I'm going to pick the Minnesota Timberwolves.
There you go.
I don't know why. I think the Lakers are the better team. I think Luka's the best player in the series. I just have a feeling when it comes to Game 7, I don't know what it is about Anthony Edwards. He just has that thing that makes you believe that he can take over a game when it counts. And he did it in here in Denver last year, Game 7. He loves the big stage. Why not why not it be at the second or first biggest stage in the NBA, being in Staples Center on the road in Game 7?
Yeah, no, I like that pick, and I'm kind of leaning generally in the same area. I think I am going to go Lakers in 6. I think that there's a lot of experience on that team. I think there's a lot of, 2 of the greatest players in the game right now. I think that's going to hold some weight. Is really what interests me is beyond the series, to be honest with you. Like, how does LeBron's body hold up through the whole playoffs? If it holds up well, they could make a finals run, and it would not shock me.
Legitimately, yeah.
But I think it's just going to come down to just that experience. And, they do play a small ball, but they're very in sync and, connected when they play. So it ends up kind of working for them a little bit. I'm going to go Lakers into 6. I think Ant goes crazy. I think every game comes down to the last few seconds, few minutes. But I do think the Lakers are going to edge it out.
Moose.
It's going to be a good one, that's for sure. I'm definitely thinking it's going the distance. They were going 7. Which team, though? I I've been jumping back and forth this whole time. I don't.
Coin flip it.
I know, for real. We'll just go with the better team. We'll go with the guy who also was just in the finals last year, Mr. Luka, the Lakers. Lakers in 7. As much as it pains me and hurts me to say it, I just think that it's not going to be enough to stop them. What did they call them?
The
Crackers.
The active shooters.
Yeah.
exciting whites.
Yeah, the exciting whites.
No, I somewhat agree with that take as well. I think it's going to be tough for the Timberwolves to stop, the star power, I think, on the Lakers, but I think the Timberwolves just have a little bit more depth on their bench that might make the difference. I am very worried, and I feel bad for Timberwolves and Rockets fans. I don't think they're going to get any foul calls early in these series, because if there's anything the NBA I know wants, it is for a Lakers and Warriors series in that round 2, which also guarantees one of Steph or LeBron in the Western Conference Finals. I know they want it. I know they do. Last series in the West, we're not going to talk about the Thunder. Whoever the Thunder play, they're going to beat them they could probably beat them in 3 games if that was allowed. It's going to be one of Dallas, the Grizzlies, or Sacramento. We don't even need to talk about it. What I think will be my favorite series to watch, and the one I want to be tuned into most of the games, is Golden State Warriors going into Houston Rockets to face them in a 7-game bout. This just has so many fun characters. Steph Curry, obviously. Draymond versus Dylan Brooks, I think, is going to be hilarious. If we remember, Draymond also kicked Steven Adams in his nuts twice in a playoff series a long time ago. Steven Adams is on the Rockets, and he's actually getting legitimate playing time now. It's just this old veteran team that has been here, multiple times. Obviously, no Klay Thompson. It's really just Steph and Draymond from those teams in the past, going up against and Jimmy Butler now, he's a playoff riser as well. He's had some good playoffs, versus a team that is just so young and just scraps. And I think that is not gonna. I don't know how that's going to go. I just think it's going to cause some emotions between these teams. I think there's going to be fights, is what I'm saying, and I'm very excited to see I think last Sunday, not this Sunday, but the one before that, Ime Udoka told Steph Curry to stop crying in the middle of the game, and Ime Udoka is coaching the Houston Rockets, so this is going to be fun. I am very excited for the series. I do think a lot of people are going to pick Golden State. Golden State is actually minus 200 on FanDuel to win the series as of yesterday. I don't know if that's changed. They're minus 200 to win the series. I think people are overlooking the Rockets. I don't think they have the star power. I don't think they do. But if you don't think Ime Udoka is going to have this team coached and ready to go, whenever it starts, I think it's Saturday it'll start. You're crazy if you don't think that's going to happen. But I'm going to go with... if a lot of these are going 7, we're going to lose a lot of fucking sleep. But I'm going to go with Rockets in 7. I think they do it. I think, like I said, a lot of people are going to pick the Warriors. They've been there. Steph Curry's who he is. The Rockets have really nobody, but they're going to scrap. And if this goes back to Houston 7, I know there's some scars there. Steph Curry has ended some series in that same building years ago, in that James Harden Chris Paul era. Excuse me. But I don't know. There's just something about. I just don't think the Warriors. They've done it before, but I think it's time has came to the end of the trail for them.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I totally get what you're saying. I personally have Warriors in 5. I think that Steph Curry is who Steph Curry is, and I think he probably goes ballistic in most of these games. I think they kind of take over a little bit. I don't think that Steph Curry doing what he does is enough to really carry them super deep, but I think it might just be enough to beat the Rockets, and I think that they're going to kind of hang on, and I do agree the Rockets are scrappy, which is, I think they do get one in there. They get one hard-fought win, but if too many games come down to close situations, Curry literally won't miss. He will just bury them, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing, is that unless the Rockets can get up and stay up fast, I don't see how they're going to do it because if it comes down to a clutch moment at the end, that's what Curry does.
I think we're going long. Not quite the distance. I'm gonna split you boys right in the middle. I think we're going 6. I think we're gonna go 6. I think I'm with Joey. I think the Rockets are gonna take this one because I think they got a lot more depth than the Warriors do. I think that's what's gonna keep them in. Who knows how long we got Draymond? Maybe a game or two until he tries to murder Dylan Brooks
or Steven Adams.
or Steven Adams, one or the other. I just think the Rockets' depth. I think that they're hot. I mean, when was the last time the Rockets were in the playoffs? 6 years ago, 7 years ago?
2020, in the bubble, they were in there, and I think that was the last time.
So, yeah, 5 years.
Maybe 2021, but that's definitely the last time.
Yeah, I just think that they're ready for the moment. They're going to surprise a lot of people.
I think so, too. I think Amen Thompson is going to shock some people. Like, obviously, he's been talked about as he's a second-year player. Everybody knows what he's kind of like, what his game is. He's a very athletic guy. His offense is not, the greatest yet. You never know what it can get to, but I think where he will make his impact is guarding Steph Curry, and I think he's just going to give Steph hell. And Steph's old, man. I mean, he's like 37, something like that, 38. I don't know if he's that old, but it's close. I can just see him running out of gas, and Jimmy Butler's old as shit too. Draymond needs to be in prison. The elderly one, he's getting old. He's gray hair, but I don't know. I think it's a new era, and I think the Rockets might just be able to do it, and they're not going to be favored. No one's going to pick them, but I'm excited. I'm just excited to watch that series in general. I hope there's fighting. All right, we'll go to the Eastern Conference, where this team's not in the playoffs, but just want to tell Joel Embiid, Jackson's sick, and he still showed up to his job. So,
swear to God.
You should take notes, okay? Maybe you'd be in the playoffs. First series in the bracket over here. Again, we're not going to talk 8 seed. Cavs are going to play either the Bulls, the Heat, or the Hawks. Who cares? Cavs in 4 probably. Pacers, Bucks. I think this series has a chance to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
No Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
Pacers seem like the deeper team at the moment. They also do have home court, but you are going against Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yep.
I'll go Bucks. Oh no, I'll go Pacers. I'll go Pacers in 6. I think they do it in Milwaukee. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I know, nobody remembers that, which is hilarious. If I asked you guys who was in the Eastern Conference Finals before I just said that, you guys would have said the Celtics, obviously, because they won. But I don't think you guys would have said the Pacers, personally. I could be wrong. But, yes, they were just in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I think they take that experience with them, and I think they just beat a shorthanded Bucks team. That's also, I want to make it clear, is coached by Doc Rivers, who, besides one playoff run in 2008, has not had very much success. And I think I'm going to blame that. I'm going to blame that reason for the Pacers winning. Also, with Damian Lillard just being out with blood clots. And he might come back, but as of right now, I think he's expected to miss the whole series.
Yeah. I'm kind of on the same boat there. I'm going to go Pacers in 6. I think that Giannis, just his pure dominance, is going to take over and force it into a couple more games. He's going to will them to win a couple games. One guy can't win you everything, especially in a game like basketball. So I think that the Pacers just as a whole get it done better, and Giannis forces a couple wins. But other than that, probably nothing more. And with Dame, if Dame was playing, probably a totally different story. Just that's kind of almost like a headline to this whole Dame to the Bucks thing, where it's gonna be one of the bigger what ifs of all time. Of what if Dame stayed healthy the whole time and they always played together? We don't really know, and we may never know. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that the Pacers as a whole have a better team, and that Giannis will will them to a couple wins, but won't be able to win the series.
That Bucks starting lineup is a little rough.
It's what Brook Lopez, Giannis, Kyle Kuzma,
Taurean Prince, Ryan Rollins.
Never heard of him.
Exactly.
The first baseman.
He's went to Toledo. He was drafted in 2022, pick 44.
Oh, that's very close to Jokic.
It was. Yeah, after looking at that one, give me the Pacers. Give them to me in 5. Like you said, Giannis is Giannis. He's going to make some shit shake. But that is not looking good for the Milwaukee Bucks right now.
Agreed. I mean, I just think the Pacers have such like a better, healthy team right now. It's Halliburton, Miles Turner, Nembhard, Siakam, Naismith, T.J. McConnell, gritty white boy off the bench. Gotta love him. Yeah, give me the Pacers, man. Just if they just, I wish they had Bruce Brown still. All right, next series. I think this one, as like I said with the Houston and Golden State series, I think there will be fights because it involves the Detroit Pistons, who have made the playoffs for the first time since, I want to say 2018 was the last time when Blake Griffin was on that team, and they actually either lost in 4 or 5 to that Bucks team, who was, I believe, the number 1 seed that year. And that was kind of like Giannis's MVP, like surgence. I don't know. Anyway, that's a topic for a different time. The Pistons are back. The bad boy Pistons, that is. Going in to face the Knicks, who are not pushovers themselves. The starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Karl-Anthony Towns. Great starting lineup. After Miles McBride and Mitchell Robinson, they kind of fall apart. Where, on the other hand, the Pistons, being Cade Cunningham, Tobias Harris is over there. I have guys like Jalen Duren. I don't know. Their bench their starters are not as good as the Knicks, obviously, I don't think, with, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns being perennial all-stars. But Cade Cunningham is an all-star. He should be an MVP candidate for how good he's played this year. He's for some reason a most improved player candidate, even though he was the number 1 overall pick. That will never make sense to me. The Pistons have a good squad, and I just think their bench is like almost as good as their starters, whereas the Knicks, the starters, who will play 50 minutes a game if there was 50 minutes in the game because Tom Thibodeau is a criminal. I just think the Pistons bench is like, they can hang in there with the Knicks starters if they need to. Might not win, but I think they'll hang in there. I would be surprised if Isaiah Stewart does not get suspended in this series. First time being in the playoffs, I just think he's going to try to start something. Yeah. Maybe try to get the Knicks, just off their guard. But I will still say Knicks in 5. I think the Pistons are a lot better than people think they are. Malik Beasley also being on the Pistons, he honestly should win 6th Man of the Year. I looked at his stats this year. He's averaging 16 points off the bench, and I think he made the most threes or the second most threes in the league this year, which is insane. His career, he's having a better year than like some of Klay Thompson's prime years. Like when you were looking at stats, and he's playing off the bench, which is crazy. But with any young team, you got to take some losses in the playoffs before you can take some wins. So I'll go Knicks in 5.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm going to do as well. Knicks in 5. I think, you hit it kind of right on the head there with they're still a young team, especially where they're at now compared to where they were last year. 2 different worlds. It's kind of unbelievable, actually.
Yeah. There should be a most improved team award.
No, literally. It should be them.
Pistons.
But I think one thing that a lot of people won't give the idea to, though, is the Knicks got a pretty big chip on their shoulder. I think they and a lot of people believe that had they been able to stay healthy last year in that run, they might have been able to give the Celtics somewhat of some business to maybe try to crack into the finals. Them getting hurt against the Pacers last year really hurt them. They weren't able to play to their full potential, but I think now they all realize that, hey, this is pretty much the same team, and it got better with Cat. So I think there's a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and they got something to prove and show that last year wasn't just a fluke. Like, this is a team that's here to stay, and we're going to make a push. I could see them going real deep this year.
Yeah, I'm with you guys, too. I don't think it's going to be quite 5 games. I'm going to give them an extra game. So give me Knicks in 6. Pistons, like you just said.
That rhymes.
Hey.
Sorry, go ahead.
You know what else rhymes with that?
Bo Knicks.
Dicks.
Thank you.
Sticks.
All things.
Bricks. Kicks. Sorry, licks.
My pick. Fuck, I totally lost what I was gonna say. All those bars.
Limericked him to death.
I think you're about to say something with the Pistons, I think.
Oh yeah, like Jackson said, just the fact that they're even in the playoffs is a astonishment to me. And like you said, it's just they haven't been here. Who knows if anyone on that team has really been in the playoffs? Malik Beasley,
Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley. I think that's really it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna come down to a little bit of experience there, and I think the Knicks are just going a little bit more, especially that Pacers series. That was a tough series. It was real gritty, so I think they're going to be able to find a way to win it.
If they can stay healthy, it should be a pretty easy series.
I wonder why they don't stay healthy.
Yeah.
If only there was a reason.
If there was only a coach that played these guys 45 minutes a game, which is just insane. Last series in the East, Celtics Magic. The defending champs have a chance to repeat, which is pretty cool. We have not had one of those since 2017. The Celtics are 14.5-point favorites in the first game, which is kind of crazy.
Playoff game.
It's kind of disrespectful. I go Celtics in 5. I think the Magic have been banged up all year. Paulo and Franz got somehow the same injury and missed the same amount of time at different times, which are their two best players. KCP has been rough for them. They really have no point guard, even though Cole Anthony and Anthony Black in that play-in game both played amazing. Wendell Carter's a decent stretch big that I think will help them match up with the Celtics offensively and defensively. But it's just the Celtics are the Celtics, and I think Joe Mazzulla will have this team ready to go. They probably already watched the town 15 times, and they're ready to do this. So, Celtics in 5.
Yeah,
Keep that one short.
I'm calling my first sweep here. I think that the Celtics are going to kind of go through them. I think that the Magic will throw up a fight in a lot of these games, but I think at the end of the day, I think the skill difference is just far and beyond. And the Celtics also are just, I feel like there is somewhat of a, when you have pretty much the same team and you just won the finals, I feel like there's slightly less pressure going into some of these games because it's everybody wants to win, everybody wants to get the back-to-back and whatever, but there probably is that little part in the back of their mind well, we just won it. So it's obviously we're going to work hard to get it again, but, part of that might be able to kind of relieve them of the stress of it, and I think that's going to help them make another pretty decent run this year. But yeah, I think I'm going to call my first sweep here.
Yeah. I think I'm with Jackson on this one. Unfortunately for the Magic, I want to give him a win. I don't know. I think Paulo is skilled enough to do a Giannis maneuver and will his way into a victory. But fuck, it's the Celtics. So I'll go with you, Jackson. I'll give me Celtics in 4. It's gonna be a close. There's gonna be one game though where it's buzzer beater, game winner type shit.
Might be the last game. Might be the fourth game. Yeah. Jason Tatum just fucking ends it.
Yep.
I think the Magic are a lot better than I'm giving them credit for. I think that series will be easy. Yeah. Last thing about the NBA real quick. We just talked about narratives with golf. Who's the one guy, 2 years ago going into the playoffs, first take, all you heard was the most pressure is on Nikola Jokic to win a championship. With this team being 1 seed, having his best talent around him, quote unquote, at the time, that was the guy that was supposed to win that year. Wins. Going into the playoffs last year, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as well, but mostly Jason Tatum had the pressure, got to win a championship, best record in the league. I think they won 67 games or something like that. They go win the championship. If you guys had to pick one guy or one team, who would it be? Who has to get the monkey off the back? Because you could say Luka, but obviously LeBron's won. You know what I mean? So you can choose a player or a team. I'll go first. I'm gonna go Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They were the number 1 seed last year. Flamed out, got bitched out by Luka. He's gonna win the MVP this year, most likely. Which history you'll go back in 10 years and realize how the fuck do we give this guy an MVP when another guy who doesn't need to be named had maybe the most impressive season ever in terms of stats. They have by far the best team of talent, I think, in the NBA. They have a great coach. They won 60-something games. If Shea was off this team would probably still be a 7 seed. So with that being said, I'm going to go Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and the rest of the players, I'll throw like the Thunder in there as a whole as well, but they have like realistically a lot of time to win. But I'm going to go with Shea because if he gets flamed out in the playoffs again like he did last year, then I'm going to have some questions, and we're going to look back on this MVP year and really question it, just like we did Joel Embiid 3 years ago, and look where that is now. So that's my pick.
I think I'm going to go with the Warriors, more specifically, I guess, Steph and Draymond. In the way, it's not necessarily so much as like a monkey off their back, but like we're kind of coming to the end of like the last few of this dynasty.
Their last chance. Might be the last chance.
And it might be their last chance. And, they lost Clay, so it really is like those two are like the last fading image of like a reigning dynasty that was going on in the mid 2010s. So I think it's really interesting to see how they'll do, knowing that this could be their kind of like last little run at this. I don't think Steph will go anywhere else. I'd see him retiring before he leaves. I think if he was going to leave, he would have done it a couple of years ago. Nobody wants Draymond, so he'll just stay on there until he retires.
He'll have to leave.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest storyline in my mind is, like, the last images of a dying dynasty. What are they going to do with it? What are they going to do with perhaps their last run? Is Steph going to have the best playoffs of his career and will them somehow to a conference final or, hell, even a finals? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, but I don't know. Yeah, that's probably who I'm going to go with.
I got one guy. You could put it as a team. They've been around for the last 5 years. Haven't really done shit. Partly because of us.
It's the Clippers.
Yeah, it's the Clippers. Mainly, I'm thinking about James Harden in mind.
Timothy Harden.
Hasn't done. I mean, we all know James Harden. I was literally sitting here trying to imagine, closing my eyes, imagine James Harden hoisting Larry O'Brien. I can't. Like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to imagine that.
Yeah.
And nothing against him. He's obviously a great player, but it's just not. I don't know if it's ever in his cards. But I think that after this year, maybe next year, I don't know what more the Clippers are gonna have. Kawhi's knees, Alfredo sauce. James Harden, I mean, he had a resurgence this year, but how many more can you have?
Well, and just he's never had playoff success to begin with. So.
Yeah. So I think, I think if James doesn't get this one, it might be a wrap for possibly the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah, a lot of great storylines. NBA playoffs starts this Saturday. Yeah, couldn't be more excited, and I think. I want to say, I don't know for sure, but I think the NHL playoff starts like this Saturday as well. But we just don't have the schedule yet. But real quick, we're going to get to a break, and then we're just going to talk quickly. Avalanche on the other side. So go listen to Jackson talk about Verb Energy Bars.
Verb Energy Bars give you that extra boost that you need in the morning. They have an assortment of different types of bars, whether it's from caffeinated bars for the morning, as well as protein bars, whether in the morning or after your workouts. My personal favorite right now is the chocolate chip banana bread. It's awesome. Helps me get through the day, through the podcast, also through the work throughout the week. So right now, if you go onto their website, use code ROCKSOLID, you can get 30% off your next order. Verb Energy is the best way to start your day. Go check them out.
All right, welcome back to the last part of the show. Hopefully you just went and shopped Verb Energy Bars if you didn't go back, and then come back to us right after that. But we are quickly just going to talk Colorado Avalanche. There's 2 days, or I guess today the 16th, so one more day of the regular season in the NHL, that being tomorrow at the time of this recording. And then we're hopefully at that point going to get a bracket and a schedule for the Stanley Cup playoffs. But as of right now, what we know is the Colorado Avalanche will be playing the Dallas Stars in round 1, which, if you were to ask me about the Avalanche going into this, I would say, with both being the Avs and the Dallas Stars, I feel bad because obviously one team's going to lose in the first round, and whoever doesn't, I think, might be the favorite out of the West going forward. Yeah. Both teams, I feel bad. The Avs are either going to win first, or they're going to lose first round, or they're going to win the Stanley Cup. Yeah. I don't think there's an in between to that. I got to go to the game the other day. That was fun, even though McKinnon didn't play and we lost by 3. That part wasn't fun, but just the atmosphere of playoff hockey being back in Colorado. I think the last couple of years, we've kind of known that we weren't going to win. Since that 2022 Cup, we've we had hope, obviously, but I feel like this year is a new leaf. Also, that might be on that 2022 tree.
Mm-hmm.
Still have McKinnon, still have McCarr. You have Val now.
Yep.
Haven't had Val for the last 2 playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Get Gabe Landeskog back, which even if he's not out there in a capacity of physically changing the game, he's the captain.
Yeah.
He's back around that locker room. You trade back for Eric Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
kind of the same deal. It might not be. He's 19. I think he's drafted 19 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's also the number 1 pick. I learned that today, which is kind of crazy. I feel like just having those guys back, at least in the locker room,
Mm-hmm.
having Val there on the ice, Lehkonen, he's been dealing with a little bit of injuries, but he's supposed to play. We're supposed to be fully healthy. Guys, this time of year, everybody's banged up, but supposed to be fully healthy, at least roster-wise, going in. Cale Makar just came off having a 30-goal season, which I think was like the 9th defenseman to ever do that.
Mm-hmm.
Still have Devon Taves. Our goalies have been great. Shout out Blackwood and Wedgwood.
Yep.
2 Woods. 1 goal. I'm excited, man. I think the Avalanche, like I said, it's either it's Stanley Cup or they're out first round, and I'm hoping, obviously, for the latter.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, you kind of nailed it all there. I mean, I'm excited to watch it. There's nothing quite like playoff hockey. It's up there with some of the best playoffs in sports, just because of the intensity of it all. But I do agree. I think the Colorado Avalanche in the past months have become a real powerhouse, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see their run if they can get it done against the Stars, because I'm pretty sure that's who knocked them out last year, wasn't it?
It is, yes.
So yeah, it's going to be exciting to watch. I hope they get it done. This is a very fun place to live when the Avs are playing good hockey.
Yeah, and a great storylines, like you just said. They got knocked out by Dallas last year. Obviously, Mikko Rantanen being on that side now. Just it makes for a great first round. It does suck. I think everybody's complaints, all the hockey heads in the world, all their complaints have been that this new playoff format that started, I think, like 5 or 6 years ago. We're getting these same matchups like every year, which I guess that builds rivalries, but also puts teams in position where these 2 teams, the Stars, they're the betting favorite to win the Stanley Cup right now. Them possibly being eliminated first round, as fun as that makes the first round, that kind of takes away from going farther into the playoffs. Caden, do you have any thoughts?
No, I don't know if I've watched. This is probably the least amount of hockey I've watched in the last 3 years. So, no, I'm just like you said, it's a fun place to live whenever we're winning. The vibes are always high when the Avs are in the playoffs. So.
Well, you're about to start watching the most hockey you've watched in
all year.
A year.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to be like that time we were in Valerie's and we were watching the Carolina game or whatever, and it went till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Because it was 6 overtimes.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was awful.
That was awesome.
It was awful for our sleep. Yeah, man, I'm excited. Martin Nietzsche has been great this year after we acquired him at the deadline. Guys like Charlie Coyle, who's been there before on Boston, Brock Nelson, been there before. And then just, bringing back, we have so many of these guys that have been here around for a while. Logan O'Connor, Miles Wood, Jonathan Drouin, who's been here for a couple of years. I just think Sam Girard, Devon Taves, obviously. Josh Manson, he's fucking giant, by the way. Also, this Keaton Middleton dude, I didn't know he made the active roster. When I told you that we saw the Avs practicing at Family Sports like right before the season started, dating back to last year, we just walked in and this dude was on the ice and he was the most giant hockey player. This dude is 6'7", 240 pounds.
Jesus.
That's before skates. I saw him on skates. This dude's like on skates and with all those pads, he's probably like 6'9", 255.
Jesus Christ.
He's giant.
It's like a train.
And as of right now, he's on the active roster for the Avs. So that'd actually be pretty cool if we saw him get in the game. I hope he just fights. I don't know anything about this guy.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he just fights. But yeah, man, I'm excited for the Colorado Avalanche, the playoffs in general. But very excited to the back-to-back Nuggets Avs days. As much sleep as I'm going to lose, it's going to be just fun to watch. And I think our 2 teams one of them has a legit chance to win.
Yep.
And the other one has the best player in the world. And if you have the best player in the world, you always have a chance to win.
True.
And ironically, I think the Avs also have the best player in the world on their team. So I think that gives them a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
Good times in Colorado, I guess.
Yeah.
Except for that one team. But Last thing I just want to talk about, I guess, is totally not sports related. I kind of talked to Caden about this the other day, but Coachella, man, what has it turned into?
It's stupid.
I've seen some of these videos and some of these pictures of people are like setting up campsites at this place, but they're taking like their actual mattress from home and like placing it in there. Who has the time, the money, and the resources to be at Coachella anymore?
Yeah. I mean, it's that. There's so many other things too. Like, if your girlfriend is going alone to Coachella,
she's not your girlfriend anymore. Yeah,
it's over. It's just like every time I see it, the performances from the stage view look dope. It just looks like it stinks, dude.
Yeah.
Like not even like, oh, this sucks. Like, it looks like it smells. Like the whole area in general, just like weed, sweat. Where you showering at? Like,
you got to think about the drugs too. Drugs don't make people smell good.
No, exactly. And then I feel like it also makes you not notice that people don't smell good either.
And it's also like a 20-minute walk from like the concert venue itself to like where you can get like Ubers or like where parking lots are. You're in the middle of the desert.
It sounds like 10 minutes of fun and like all the other hours that you're there of hell. It's just like it's so hot. It stinks. Like, you honestly probably only getting like a couple good performances really. Like, and you're suffering through a bunch till the later shows where like those are the big ones come on. I don't know. It's just it's a lot.
It seems so fun if you're like rich.
Yeah.
Or if like a brand takes you out there, like if a brand like sponsors you, puts you in a house out there. If not, if you're just like a regular person like us, I mean, you're camping outside or in the back of your car, which sounds dreadful for a fucking 4-day concert festival. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
And then again, the showers they have there. I mean, I know they showed like, so I saw videos of like the showers and stuff, but dude, you know how many they're like porta potty set up showers. They look a little like cleaner and better, but still, like, I couldn't imagine like there's how many people, probably let's just say 20,000 people attend to the concert throughout the week, probably more, but like just for a range, you don't want to take showers after 500 people took a shower in that room.
Yeah,
it sounds
you've been
painful.
on your feet all day. You get done with the day. You want to go take a shower? No, you want to lay down on your stinky little mattress.
Or you have to walk. We have to walk 25 minutes just to get to.
Yeah, guys, get some sleep. Playboy Cardi's playing in the morning.
This sounds awful. I feel like it'd be so fun if you're rich, though. Like,
because then they put you, like you said, they put you in a house. They shuttle you to the front row.
Yes.
And then it's just like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then like 5 rows back, some guy's got like 4th degree burns, smells like shit. Just is like having the worst weekend of his life. Lost his soap. Like he just his shoe blew out. And then he's thinking about this 40-minute walk he's about to have to take to get an Uber
back
to the shitty motel that he's staying at.
But hell yeah, Travis Scott at 6 o'clock.
Baby, let's go. Hootie and the Blowfish coming in.
Oh my god, that's been in the news and been on a lot of my social media feeds. So I've been wanting to just say that to anybody because, again, it would be so fun if you had the resources and the money and the access. But other than that, it just looks dreadful for a person like myself. Who also has been in bed at like 9 p.m. on weekdays, and you're telling me I gotta be at this concert till like 1 a.m. and then walk 35 minutes, dude. I'm okay, bro. I guess the last thing in the news, I don't know exactly what it was called, but let's just say 8 women were taken up in a spaceship.
Should have left him up there, right, fellas?
A shuttle. I thought it was Jeff Bezos. I could be wrong.
He was on it. Okay, it's like his company.
Okay. I was just saying. I wanted to make sure I called out the right billionaire.
Yeah.
Fucking assholes. So they sent like 8 women into space. You could say the joke again.
Should have left him out there, huh, fellas?
And this was supposed to be for I think it was supposed to be like some community event where they were supposed to empower women to be able to want to do things in life. So Katy Perry's singing on this live stream thing, and then they allegedly send them up to space for 2 minutes. They're out of orbit or out of atmosphere, whatever it is, for 2 minutes, and then they come right back down. I think this was like an 11-minute trip. A lot of people saying it wasn't real.
Yeah, I mean, I will give the benefit of the doubt there. I watch Dude Perfect's videos a bunch. They sent one of their guys up, And so it is real what they're doing, but it is like they shoot you up, you float in the like stratosphere for a second, and then you come back down. So what they're doing is real. It's just they're not going like into space.
Yeah. How is this supposed to empower women? Because when you pick 7 somewhat rich women and a woman that's married to Jeff Bezos, and you put them in a spaceship, send them to space, bring them back, what good does that do to empowering women?
Marry rich.
So it's
Or be a really good singer. I don't know. It's gonna
right.
I think there were like reality stars on there too. Somebody tweeted.
One of the hosts from The View was on there.
Gail.
Yeah, somebody tweeted and it's like, what if this is the way we found out that zero gravity makes cheek filler explode?
I saw that.
Because all of them were just like plastic.
Dude, one of the girls looked crazy. I think it might be Jeff Bezos' wife or something. But yeah, one of them had crazy plastic surgery done. But yeah, I was trying to figure out how this empowers women when it really just says if you marry a billionaire, you can bring your friends to space for 2 minutes.
Yep.
What good does that do for society?
Now, Jeff, you want to take me into space?
Oh,
Let's do it. Let's get it done.
I don't want to fucking go
I'll
to
be your
space,
wife.
but if you want to give me like $20,000, that'd be dope.
Just pay off all my shit. Then take me to space.
And then I'll support this, whatever you're doing. But yeah, no, I just thought that was weird. Those are like the two, Coachella and that have been like the two things just blowing up the internet. So figured we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts on anything? Anywho?
Nico Maliava is the Dennis Schroeder of college football.
Yes, he is expected to go to UCLA as of like an hour ago. I've been reading while we've been doing this, but yeah, no, college football is in such a dark place. Just college sports in general.
No, yeah, I mean, I called it actually the other night. I think I don't remember when it was, but
they parted ways with a quarter. What?
Yeah, no, but I think it was David. I said, what he's gonna do is he's gonna go to a low-rated Big Ten school who's just got a shit ton of boosters who can afford to pay him, and then he's gonna get no exposure because the team's probably gonna suck, and then he's probably gonna get drafted way later because this team sucks and he's not that good.
Well, he's gonna lose money in the long run.
Yeah, that's a real deal. And like I was telling him too, like, you can tell how good a player is based on how much they care about NIL, because the really good players know they're going to get drafted and play on Sundays and make millions upon millions of dollars. And the just all right guys, like the Carson Beck guys, are like I'm going to go to the draft. No, I'm not, because I'm going to make $8 million in Miami because I know I'm not going to be good enough to have a long-lasting career in the NFL.
Yep.
Boom.
I agree.
Yeah, no, it's really weird. Just when it was a college football contract holdout. It's just something you've never heard of.
Yeah.
Never heard of before. Yeah, isn't that just... We're so far from the script.
Yeah.
We've lost the plot.
Yeah, and I think, I saw a video of Cam Newton talking about it, and he made a really good point. He was like, he's a good quarterback. He's a good dude. He's got a good family. But he just stained his legacy with this. And I think somebody had to do it, and somebody had to be the guy to put it out there.
This will set an example.
And unfortunately, it had to be Nico, because Nico's a pretty solid quarterback. But it had to be him, because now everyone will go, I'm not going to hold out, because Tennessee just looked at one of the best quarterbacks in the nation and went, bye.
See ya.
Go find it. No, we do not care.
Yeah.
So that's now going forward. That might be the last time we see that really at this grand of a scale.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. He fumbled a bag. If you stayed at Tennessee, you're in the college football, you're at an SEC school, you're still getting paid $2 million to be there, which is not bad at all. And then the Tennessee was just in the college football playoff. They have a chance to go back to the college football playoff this upcoming year, where you go to, now he's expected to go to UCLA, where they were not close to the college football playoff. They will not be close to the college football playoff again. There's a bunch of exposure for Nico that just gets taken away like that. And there's a chance you get drafted as a first rounder out of Tennessee, $20 million. Now there's a chance you may either not get drafted at all, or you're getting drafted late, and that check's only like $1 million first year in the NFL.
You're going to be playing games at 10 o'clock Eastern for UCLA, getting stomped out by Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah.
I got $8 million in the bank though.
Generational money if you can hang on.
Apparently his dad was his agent too, which is just ironic, because his dad was making decisions on his son and just he can make any rational or any non-rational decision
Mm.
he wanted to, because he doesn't have to worry about managing other players. He doesn't have any other players to.
Yeah.
He wanted his money.
Yeah, and obviously I don't know his father. I'm sure he's a good dude, but he probably also knows that as soon as Nico goes to the NFL, he's probably going to get an actual agent who's really going to take care of him. So I think his dad maybe looks at this as a situation where it's like, well, this is a good opportunity for me to get my bag real quick and then do that, which who knows, that could be totally wrong. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that's something that could have happened. But
We're just bringing up talking points.
yeah, it's just very interesting to think about.
Yeah. Any last thoughts on anything?
I don't think so.
I just saw something that was really funny. Oh, this is totally random, but It's Always Sunny Philadelphia, season 17, July
Saw
9th.
that.
Be there. All right. Well, we will talk to you guys next week. We'll talk hopefully more about NHL and first couple games of the NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs as well. RBC Heritage Tournament is this weekend, which Scotty Scheffler won last year, and a week full of baseball games. So make sure you tune in. Other than that, go tell somebody you love them. You may just make their day. Peace.
Peace.